Hello everyone, this is Reza Dorrani. In today's video, I will show you how we can leverage the PowerApps notification connector to send push notifications to apps that are created in PowerApps, either Canvas or model-driven apps. We can send these notifications to users directly from flows or from the PowerApp itself. I'll cover this with a wide variety of scenarios in this video, so let's get started. But first, my introduction. In PowerApps, we have a connector called PowerApps Notification, which allows us to send push notifications to apps created with PowerApps, field service, or sales. You can use this connector to trigger the push notification from flows as well as apps. Now, as per the documentation, this connector is a standard connector if you're using this in your apps or flows. There are some prerequisites that you need to be aware of. User needs to have the PowerApps mobile app installed. They have to open the app at least once by signing in, and they also need to allow notifications to be turned on for the PowerApps mobile app. So now let's see how we can first send a simple push notification to a user. Here in PowerApps, I have a service desk PowerApp, and I would like to send a push notification to a user so that they can click on the notification and it directly launches this app on their mobile device. Now I will do this through a flow. So I'll go to new flow and I will use the instant cloud flow so I can manually trigger my flow. I have given my flow a name, and now I will go to new step, search for notifications, select PowerApps notification V2, select the action, and this is where I can send a push notification to a user. First, we need to select the mobile app. Now here, as part of V2, we have three options: field service, PowerApps, and sales. Field service and sales are related to Dynamics. In this case, I'll go ahead and pick PowerApps. And this works for both Canvas as well as model-driven apps. Next, I need to select the app for which I'm sending the push notification for. So if I open this, this will list out all my apps. In my case, I'm trying to send the notification for my service desk PowerApp, so I can search my app name and select my app. We need to define who the recipients of this push notification are. Here you can provide the email addresses of those users. In my case, I'm just going to send the notification to myself, so I'll just pick my email directly from the trigger because I'm the person triggering the flow. If you need additional recipients, you can just add an item and enter their email addresses here. Alternatively, you can switch over to the array mode here and just pass an array of email addresses to recipients, and all of those users will get the push notification. We can define the message for the push notification. So my message here is open the service desk app. Next, you can decide whether to open the app or not when the user taps on the push notification. In this case, I'll select yes. And additionally, you can also pass parameters to your app. In this case, I'm going to keep it very simple. I'll go ahead and save my flow. And now I will go ahead and click test and run this flow manually. And once that flow successfully runs, we can see how we receive a push notification on the mobile device. The message that I entered, which was open the service desk app, is right there. And if I click on the push notification, this will directly launch PowerApps and straight away open that specific Power App. And that is that same app opened on my mobile device. Now in this next example, I would like to send a notification to all the users who the app has been shared with. And in my case here, I have a simple quiz-based Power App wherein users can come in and start answering questions and take a quiz. And let's say that my scenario is such that every day I would like the users to go ahead and take this quiz. we can leverage Flow to send these users the notification. Now in PowerApps, if you head over to Share, you can define who the app is going to be shared with. In my case here, I am the owner of the app and I have two users, Sarah and James, who I am sharing the app with. So let's see how we can create a flow that runs on a daily basis and sends a push notification out to all the users of my app. Back to Flow. Here we will create a scheduled cloud flow. And let's say this flow will run every day at 8 a.m. I will give the flow a name and click create. Now the first step is for me to get all the names of the users who this app has been shared with. So for that, if you search for PowerApps for makers, there's a connector available for that. And within this connector, there is an action called get app role assignments. Now if I select this, it will ask me for the name of the app. Now here is where you need to enter the GUID of the app. So if I go back to PowerApps and right here with the app selected, if I go to the three ellipses and go to details, here is the ID of the app. I'm going to copy this, go back to my flow and paste it right here. Now let's first save the flow and test the flow so we can see the output of this action. Now when this flow runs, here is the output that it provides. If I click on show raw outputs, it will give me the actual output of this action. I will copy this and I have just gone ahead and pasted that output in Visual Studio Code. So in this output, under body, under value, we have an array. And this array returns the details of all the users who have access to this app. And in this array, we have specific objects. So the first object here gives me details of the first user. And here under properties, there's something known as role name. Now here it says role name owner, and this user is Reza. So I am the owner of that app. And then we have other users here, and we have the role names defined here as can view. That's because these are users who can only view the app, basically play the app. So this is how I can grab the email addresses of those users who this app has been shared with, and I can send them push notifications. Now, let's say I only need the users who have access to view this app. So back to my flow, this action returns an object which has that array. And I would like to filter that array, so I'll add a new step. Use the data operation action called filter array. The array data here is the output, which is value from get app role assignments. That's the array in there. And from the value array, I would like to filter where the role name is equal to can view. So here under dynamic content, I'll pick role name is equal to can view. Now this will return all those object values where the role name is can view. And from there, I only need the email address. Why? Because the push notification action just needs the email addresses. So now what I can do here is add another step called select. That's the data operation action. And here I'm going to pick the output of filter array and pick the body attribute. And under map, I'm going to click over here to switch to text mode. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and pick the email field. So if I was to just test this flow again, we will see that the output of filter array here will only be those two users who have the role name can view. And if you look at the output of the select action, it's an array of email addresses of the users who can view the app. That's exactly what I needed. And now the steps are the same as before. I want to send a push notification. So once again, I'll pick PowerApps notification v2. It's a standard connector. I'll pick the mobile app as PowerApps. I will pick my app. And for recipients, because I'm dynamically getting the email addresses, it's in the output of the select array, I will switch over here to the input entire array feature. And right here, I will remove all of this. And in here, I will directly use the output of the select action. And the message here would be, I'm just going to send a reminder to take the quiz today. And I will say open the app as yes. Once again, I'll save this flow. The flow is scheduled. It will run on a daily basis, send the users the notification, and the users will click on that notification and it will directly launch the app. Now, because I'm just demoing this, for my filter array, instead of checking the role can view, I'm just going to change this to owner because I'm playing the role of the owner and I'm projecting my phone only right now. So I just want to show how that push notification goes out. So now if I go ahead and run this flow, once the flow runs, I get the notification right here. It says reminder to take the quiz today. I'm getting the notification because I'm the owner of that app, because that's what I coded in the flow. And now if I just select this link, it will directly launch that specific Power App. And here I am in that quiz app. I can play the app right here on my mobile device. Now, of course, these notifications right now that I'm demonstrating are Canvas related, but let me pick a model-driven app here. So here's a model-driven app in action. When I pick a model-driven app, the behavior would be slightly different. Here, I get some additional options. I have to pick the entity. So let's say I pick the count entity here. I can pick a form or a view from that specific entity or table. I can pick a specific form that the user can directly fill out. It will straight away open that form, or I can even show a specific view. So let's say I pick the all accounts view here, and let's go ahead and run this flow. Once this flow runs, so we can see right here, I receive that notification. If I select that, it will directly open the PowerApps mobile app, open that specific model-driven app, and take me directly to that specific view. Now, whatever I have showcased so far, there is a really nice blog article wherein it will walk you through how you can send push notifications from a flow. Step-by-step guidance is provided here. You can see the different options that you can play with, and it also shows how you can pass parameters, and you can read those parameters in your PowerApps and accordingly navigate the user to specific screens. Now, in this next use case, I have a leave request application, the data for which is coming from SharePoint. And here, whenever a new leave request comes in, it gets assigned to the user's manager first and then goes to the HR user for approval. So let's take a use case here. I have a Power App. I'm getting these tasks generated for me. The data is in SharePoint. The way the user responds to these tasks is the user logs into the app, goes to log in as an approver, and here in my scenario, I have 3 tasks that are assigned to me that I need to take action upon. And I can approve or reject. However, I have to go to the app, look at my dashboard, and respond. But let's say we would like to send push notifications out on a daily basis if the user has any tasks that are pending their decision. So in my case here, let's say I just want to send push notifications out if the status is pending manager approval. So I want to send a notification to the managers. So how do we go about doing that? Once again, I'll create a scheduled cloud flow. So the flow will run on a schedule. Let's say it runs daily at 8 a.m. I'll name my flow and click create. First step is I would like to query my SharePoint list to get all those leave requests where the status is pending manager approval. So the way I'll do this is I'll add an action here called get items from SharePoint. I will connect to my SharePoint site, pick my SharePoint list, and right here I can enter a filter criteria to only get the data that I need. Now I've done a separate video on OData filtering related to SharePoint. I've covered all the different column types and combination of filters that you can leverage. I will place that link in the description of this video, so do check that out. Now here I want all my items where the status is pending manager approval. So my OData query will be status is equal to pending manager approval. Once I get these items, all I need then is the email address of the manager. And I already have a column for that. So in my flow, once the get items action executes, I will get an array. And here, once again, I'll use that select data operation. The from would be the value of list of items. That's the array. And here, I just need the user's email. Once again, I will click on switch to text mode, and here from dynamic content, I can search for my manager field. It's a person type column, single select in SharePoint. So Flow will give me a dynamic content called manager email. I'm just going to pick this. Now in my example here, the same user, in my case Reza, has a couple of tasks. Now I don't want to send Reza multiple push notifications. Basically what I need now is to get the unique values of all of those manager emails. And the way you can do that in Flow is by writing a simple expression. So I'll add a compose action, and here I will use the following expression. It's called union. So I'll use the union function. First, it's expecting a collection, so I'll go to dynamic content and pick the output of the select action. And once again, I will pick the same output of the select action for the second parameter as well. So what union is going to do is, I have that array which could have duplicates. If I use that same array and do a union on it, it will only give me the unique values. So I'm going to go ahead and click OK, and this will give me the unique email addresses that I need, the distinct email IDs. Once I have this, I just need to send the push notification. So I'll add a new step. I will use the apply to each action, because the output of this action will be an array. And here I'm going to use the output of the compose action. And within this, I will send the push notifications out to all of those users who have pending tasks. So I'll go to add an action, PowerApps push notification v2, mobile app is PowerApps, select my app, which is leave request app. For the recipients, so to grab that email directly, I'll select here and go to expression and write the function called item. Item will give me the context of the current item, which is nothing but the email address. I'll click OK. The message I would like to give is, you have pending leave request for approval, and I would like the app to open if the user clicks on that push notification. So I'll select yes. Once I'm done with this, I'll click save. This flow will run every day at 8 a.m. Check to see if there are any tasks in pending manager status, grab all those email addresses, and start sending them push notifications. In this case, I'll just go and test it manually and run my flow. The flow now has started. I already received the notification on my mobile device. I'll show you that, but before that, let's see what's happening right here inside flow. So here, get items will only get me those items that are in pending manager approval status. Select will give me all those email addresses, and you can see right now in my list, I have only 2 in that status, and both of them are assigned to me. So the flow will have my email address twice. Then we use that trick of using that union function to only get the unique values, and that's exactly what it's done right here. Next, I have just looped through this array. There's only one item, gone through it, and sent out the push notification, in this case, to Reza. And here, on my mobile app, I have received that notification. If I select this, it will directly go ahead and launch PowerApp on my mobile device. I can log in as the approver, and here are my tasks. Also, what if I want to use those push notifications directly from PowerApps? I may have a use case for that. So for example, let's say I log in as an employee into my leave request application. I have this tasks that's currently assigned to the HR admin. I'm playing that same role. And here maybe I have this mobile icon that I added, and when the user clicks on this, it should send a push notification because the approval decision is pending on that user. So it's like notifying that user on the fly. So in order for us to use that push notification feature in PowerApps, you can go to data sources, go to add data, search for notifications. Now here you have notification and notification v2. You have the same thing in Flow as well. You can use either of them. Prior to making this video, I tried it in PowerApps. I have noticed that there is a bug in the function call from PowerApps, which is causing an error. So I'll keep it simple and use the PowerApps notification connection here. So I'll pick this. I'll add a connection. And the first thing this will ask you is for the ID of the app. In PowerApps, I can select my app, go to the three ellipses, go to details, and copy the app ID. Here I will paste the app ID and click connect. I have that notification feature connected in my app. When the user clicks on this icon, I will go ahead and call the function PowerApps notification.send push notification. The first thing is it needs recipients, and you have to follow the syntax. So I'll open curly braces. I'll pass recipients. This needs to be a table, an array. So I'll open up my array brackets, and within this I can provide my email addresses. In my case, I'm just going to send the notification to the HR user, and I'm using a gallery, so I can directly use this item.hr.email. It's a person type column in my use case. Next, I can pass the message, please approve my leave request for, and here I will concatenate the title of the leave request as well. That's the message that goes out in the push notification. Next property is if I want to open the app or not. I will say yes, I want to open the app. The data type here is Boolean, so I'm passing true, and optionally I can pass parameters. So I'm going to close the curly braces and close the function. Now if I go ahead and preview my app and click on this little icon, this will send a push notification out to the user. And here's my mobile screen once again. That's the notification. It says, please approve leave request for jury duty. That was the title of my leave. I can pass other details as well. It will directly launch PowerApps, open that specific app, and I can now go and log in as the approver and take the specific decision. So that's all about the PowerApps notification connector. If you enjoyed this video, then do like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for watching.